You guys, I've just recorded an entire 5-minute story and I hadn't pressed the record button. Anyway, hello darlings, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am back, honey. My nails don't match what I'm doing, but anyway, it's been forever. For those who don't know me, I am Nontomondlane. Thank you so much to anyone who's a new subscriber. I saw we've lost I think we've lost 15 subscribers. I don't blame them, I've been AWOL, but I am back now. I'm in a better place. I'm able to, you can't pour out of an empty cup, so I'm back now. I'm back and I'm better. I want you better as ever. Anyway, today's, I almost said vlog. Today's video is a catch-up video. I have my notebook. I have a couple of notes, points of things that I want to speak about, just so I don't forget anything, and I don't want to blab. I know I blab a lot. Someone called me out on it, and I was just like, sorry. Anyway, life lately. How has life been? Sorry, if you hear any noise, please excuse me. All my dogs are here, all 4 of them. Shelly's outside. She's massive and she likes to scratch the glass here. Lila and Skylar are Bayazula Angela. Anyway, let's get right to it. Life has been a roller coaster. I'm gonna be honest with everyone. The last few months of 2022 weren't so great for me. I was unhappy. Do you know what it's like to be unhappy? I was unhappy and I felt like there was nothing I could do about it. When you're almost stuck, and I'd find myself breaking down every now and then. I just break down every now and then. There was a time where I had a panic attack. I don't even know if that's what I can call it, a panic attack. And I literally just went and sat in the shower. I let that happen. It happened. I wept. I wept. And then, picked myself up because anxiety, life goes on. Life goes on, guys. But yeah, story of my life. Last few months of 2022 weren't so great to me. I was unhappy. And I felt like there was nothing I could do about it. When you get yourself into things and you agree to things and you're thinking, yay, deep down, this is not for me. This is not me. This is not for me. But I don't have a choice, because if I don't do this, what am I going to do? If I don't sell drugs, what am I going to do with my life? That's just an example. Horrible one, but it's an example. So, please leave mommy. Mommy's working. I'm sorry about that. Skylar is, I don't know, she wants attention. Hello, Lila. Anyway, those who know me know that I do not like Johannesburg. I do not like living in Johannesburg. I don't like Johannesburg. I don't. The first time around I tried, and second time around it was going well, but as time goes, and it's not even that anyone does anything to me, it's just I'm not happy there. I struggle to be happy there, Anyway, I was talking about last year, right? I did say last year was tricky for me, whatever, and so I couldn't wait until the December holidays so I can be home for those few weeks. How long was holiday? 3-4 weeks, I can't remember, but I couldn't wait to be home for those few weeks, and I'd be happy at home, very happy at home, until I think of the fact that I have to go back to Johannesburg and I have to go back to my job. And yeah, no. Excuse me. It wasn't very nice. And I think every time I have to go back to Joburg after being home, it's hard for me. Hard to, excuse me, wow. Hard to the point where I cry. Nobody knows I do, but surprise. I cry because I'm just like, why can't things just happen over here? Why can't things work out on this side of the world? Why milingile fair inje? But anyway, went back to work in the beginning of the year. By the way, I turned 25 this year. Hello. Came back on the weekend after my birthday. I think my birthday was on a Tuesday, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. On the 14th, I went back to Joburg, and I was moving into my new apartment. I think that was the exciting part about going back to Joburg. I was moving into my own apartment. I was gonna get another taste of independence, and this time I was gonna make it work. Boo! I was like, you know what? We are doing this. We gotta grow up. Yeah, I moved. My parents helped me. You guys, I have the most amazing parents, like the most amazing. My parents helped me. They helped me move. They moved me actually with all my stuff. I went home, I think 2 weeks. 2 weeks after I came back to Joburg, I came home for a weekend. I was like, I need to go home. I miss home, So my brother and I went home on that weekend, and on my way home, my mom's like, we're going to church this weekend, right? So I was like, really? Do we have to go to church? And I told her I don't have an outfit for church. I hadn't packed an outfit for church. I was like, yeah, I don't have an outfit for church. And then she's like, I wanted to go and pray with you and Mto, my brother, at the altar. So I was like, okay, I'll see. Fine. Friday, Saturday came, and then on Sunday morning, I was like, should I go to church? And something was like, go to church, honey, go to church. So I looked through my clothes, and I found a skirt and asked my mom for a top. Luckily, I had heels with me. I had come with heels for some odd reason. We went to church. Church was nice, hot, but nice. And then, by the way, my brother did not wake up. So I went with my parents. And when we got there, and then there comes a time where everyone gets to go pray at the altar, where everyone gets to go to the front and go down on their knees and pray. I find my mom comes and gets me. She's like, Asami. We go and get down on our knees, and she's just like, okay, we are praying for this and that, like your life, blah 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 blah. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I pray for what I pray for. And then at some point I just ran out of words. At some point I just ran out of words. I'm gonna cry. Woo! At some point I just ran out of words, and I kept quiet for some time. Like I kept quiet there for some time, and then I was like, you know what? I'm letting it all go. Like I'm putting everything in your hands, God. I am putting my life in your hands, my plans in your hands, everything. I'm putting everything in your hands. I am not about to do anything. I don't know what to do. I don't even know what to say. So I am giving it all to you. Over to you, get my idea. Over to you, God. And then I said my amens and whatever. Sahamba. On that day, my parents drove us back. They drove us back to Joburg. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. And then I think a week later, so this was on a Sunday. So I don't know if on that week or the following week, I got fired from my job. I got fired from my job. Mind you, I had forgotten about my prayer, but had I remembered what I said when I was praying, I was gonna ask, how is this supposed to help me? I put things in your hands, and when so I got fired from my job, and I was like, okay, you know, at that moment I was fine with it. I was fine with it because, in all honesty, I was not happy in Joburg. I was not happy in Joburg. I didn't want to be in Joburg, and I didn't like my job, you know. Oh, I don't know if I should say my job or if I should say the industry. Like, it's an industry where you constantly, like, giving yourself. You constantly have to talk to people. And one thing about me, I am not a people's person. I just but that's just who I am. I'm not a people's person. I want to be offline when I want to be offline. If I want to be offline for 3 weeks, I will be offline for 3 weeks. So in my line of work, I didn't get to do that. In my line of work, I constantly had to engage with people, and I'd forget. And obviously, so that will get you into trouble. You can't forget to do your job, you know? You get paid to do that. You don't get to forget. So I'd forget a lot. Like, a lot. I would forget, and manje. Fine. So when I got fired, I understood. I still do. I understood, and I agreed. You know, I agreed. I was like, you know what? I agree. It's fine. I understand. You know, I understand. Fine, whatever. That was fine. That felt like a weight lifted off my shoulders. I'm not even gonna lie. A huge ass weight lifted off my shoulders. Excuse my French. And then, when was this? Let's pretend it was on a Tuesday. Let's say it was on a Tuesday. Fine. Later on in that week, I'm just like, now reality starts to kick in. You know, I'm like, it's easy to tell my mom, but what am I gonna tell my dad? Because number one, my dad told us, when you are done with school, done with matric, you either go and you work or you go to school. I don't want an adult living in my house. Fine, I went to school. I was gone for a good 3 years. After I came back from varsity, I leave like for a couple of months and I start my life and whatever. But I keep coming back, you know. So this time I was like, like I had never thought about it. Like other times, I'm going back home. It would just be like, oh, I'm going back home. This time it was like, shit, I'm going back home. What am I gonna tell my dad? You know? I told my mom after a few days, I think, or on the day, I can't remember. I told my mom. My mom was fine. She was worried for obvious reasons. Excuse me. She was worried for obvious reasons. Sorry guys, I had a drink. She was worried for obvious reasons, but when I explained to her how I felt about it, she was like, oh, okay, I understand. What are you gonna do now? Have you tried applying for jobs? Have you tried this and that? And I lied and I said yes. Surprise, mom. I didn't apply for any jobs. I was just like, okay. Well, there were some things in the pipeline. Actually, there were some things, but I hadn't really like applied for anything. Fine. So later in that week, after this Tuesday where I got fired, later in that week, man, reality starts kicking in. I'm like, my life is changing so much this year. I just got fired. I haven't lived in my apartment for even a month. How am I supposed to pay rent? Where am I gonna find a job? A job that's gonna make sure that I afford my rent, that I afford my upila, yabo. Like, what the hell's gonna happen? You know? And then on those days, I couldn't even pray. Because I didn't understand. I know after I understood, I didn't understand anymore what God was doing. I was like, I'm fit, man. What's up, you guys? I was stressed. I was stressed. You know, I was like, what am I supposed to do with my life? Is this gonna be another 10 months or another year or whatever of me just being at home doing nothing, cleaning, bukele TV, ngidlalele laptop, you know, things like that. But at some point I was like, okay, you know what, it's fine, we'll see. And now my worry is telling my dad. Guys, I didn't tell my dad I got fired. I'll tell you until when. Sambe is cut. This was just before the end of January when I got fired, and then that week. Guys, on Friday, the 9th of February, my mom came to Joburg. Can't remember for what. My mom came to Joburg, so Wakalagam, like her and my little brother, her and Uncle Jack came to my house. Wait, I have to check that yeah. Her and Uncle Jack came to my apartment, and this is in Tamba, I'm feeling about 5. Because our network is very bad. Our network was bad, especially if there's load shedding. And at that time there was load shedding, so my phone was useless. Left my phone in my bedroom. I was in my kitchen chatting away with my mom and brother. With my mom and brother. There's no way. I started, and then I walked them out. I'm on the 4th floor. I walked them down and I came back up. When I come back into my room, saying check your phone, I have about 4 missed calls. I have 2 missed calls from my friend Usetu, and I have 2 missed calls from my friend Ulo Usesi Ubule. How I'm like, oh, okay. You know, in my head I'm like, there's some tea coming. There is some tea coming. Hey, Usesi Ubulelo, and she's like, hi sister, how are you? Blah blah blah. I'm like, I'm good, how are you? And she's like, no, so and so has been trying to get a hold of you in regards to a job. I was like, a job? Okay. And then she was like, yeah, isn't it you studied environmental what? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, oh, okay, please give him a call, he's trying to get a hold of you. I got told. So saying, I should put you up, my network is horrible here, let me try and call him. Fine. Shh, they're making noise. Fine. Yimfonele ubuthi ubaba angazi. Yimfonele. It's the first time I call. Ithule, like my network is horrible. Ithule ingaringi next. Ha? I am phonele futhi. If this is about a job, I am calling again. It rings and we speak. Guys, that whole conversation, I was like this. I was talking, but I was like this. I was not blinking. My heart is pounding, beating out of my chest. I was like, what is going on? So what are you currently doing? You're working for your sister, right? I'm like, yeah, I'm working for my sister, but I've just lost my job, and so this is my last month working here. And then he's like, oh, okay, I need this and this and that. My company needs this and this and that. An environmental compliance officer. And I was like, okay. And she's like, yeah, we're willing to take you as an intern, so you'll have someone guiding you. But I need to have someone like in office. And I was like, what? And then he's like, yeah, so we just thought before siyekudeni, let's speak and give the opportunity to someone that we know. I've known them for about 2 years. I think this is year number 3. I've known them. So he's like, yeah, instead of we thought, you know what, let's start in-house. Let's see if you can do the job, or if you are interested. Yeah, well, you have the qualification. You know, I was like, what? And I was like, oh my gosh, I am so grateful. Like, you don't even know. I would love the opportunity. And then he's like, yeah, now the thing is I need someone ASAP. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm still here for a month. I'll speak to my boss and hear what she says. Fine. And then after that phone call, I literally just sat on my bed and one word came out of my mouth, and that word was God. Guys, I was in disbelief. I was like, God. I was in disbelief, and I had a few tears of happiness. I was so excited. I wanted to tell the whole world, but at the same time I was like, hold your horses, B. You better hold your horses. I was like, hey, this is weird. It's like, it's too good to be true, you know. I was like, oh, it's too good to be true. Just like that. I didn't apply. I didn't tell them that I was fired. It was just out of the blue. It was random. 5 o'clock on a Friday. I was like, what? And I was like, huh? I'm not telling anyone yet. Fine. Yeah. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Tulile. Okay, we had agreed that we'll talk again on Monday after I've spoken to my boss. If you get Monday, I speak to him. We were supposed to have a meeting with this lady who was going to mentor me, and I was like, hi, I'm available for a meeting on Wednesday. How does that work for you? Is that fine? And you know what his response was? His response was, available for a meeting or available to start work? I was like, hey, but what thing they go on here? You know, I looked at that message for some time, man. I can't even remember what my response was. Oh, my response was a meeting. The earliest I can start is next week, Monday. Mind you, I haven't spoken to my current boss, Uguti. I'm gonna have to cut this notice short. I was like, I can start next week, Monday. I haven't told anyone anything. And then after that, we spoke and he told me, this is what I can offer you, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I was like, does it even make sense? I was like, does it even make sense? You know, when something seems or sounds too good to be true, when you can't believe it and you ask yourself, okay, but what did I do to deserve this? Or how is this coming to me? Are my parents back? Sky, please. Anyway, fine, I called my mom and I told her, and she was so happy for me. She was, excuse me. She was so happy for me. Yeah, and she was like, you should tell your dad. I want him to hear from Skylar. Out. He should hear it from you, and so on and so on. Okay, fine, whatever. Sometime in that week, I spoke to my boss. I told her that I got a job and I am taking it, and I am starting on Monday. This is not an opportunity that I'm not gonna let slip right through my fingers. And you know, I spoke to my dad, and at first I think he was scared. Like, he asked all the right questions, you know, as a parent, obviously. As I said, like, it sounded too good to be true, and as a parent you'll obviously be concerned. So I assured him, because I did have some feeling of safety. You know what, this is happening, it's happening for me. I guess I deserve it. Fine. My parents are not back. Fine, so now the question comes in. I've only been living in this apartment for a month. What am I gonna do? I spoke to the guy who was helping me. Just put in a 2 months notice. But if you leave immediately, you will be charged a certain amount. And I was like, you know what, I'm willing to forfeit that amount. It's not a nice amount to forfeit, to let go of, but better and bigger is coming, honey. You know, so yeah, that weekend I left. I moved back home. Who fetched me? My mom. Yeah. My mom fetched me, and on Monday morning I started my new job as an environmental compliance officer in Middelburg. Guys, my heart. It's been 3 weeks now, and it just seems to be getting better and better. Like, the more I get exposed to, the more I speak to this lady who is managing me, or my mentor, I'm not sure what to call her, the more exciting it gets, the more I understand, because I know this work or this stuff in theory, you know. I've never had an internship. Like, I don't know the physical of it. Yeah, that makes sense. The physical of it. You know what I'm saying. So, like, the more I learn, the more exciting it gets. Ngahamba guys, ngaya on site, ngayoshiso elinye ilanga. But let me tell you, at the end of that day, I was happy. I am happy, and I'm just like, you know what, when I spoke to my dad, he was like, God's timing is always perfect. Because guys, best believe, after I finished school in 2020, graduated 2021, but from the end of 2020 I was looking for internships. I don't know how many I've applied for, you know. I've been to an interview, and after that they just went AWOL, shooting for you a bit anyway. But it was just like I had given up on being an environmentalist, you know. And every time people would ask me, do you plan on working in your field, like, that question would touch me, but I'd respond and be like, I don't think so, you know. I'd respond and say, I don't think so. And I'd say I enjoy content creation, which I do, but I want to enjoy it on my terms. That's the problem. Like, content creation to me is a side thing, a hobby. Is it a hobby? I don't know, but I can't make a living out of content creation because I don't know, it's not for everyone. Yes, I do it. Yes, it's nice when I do it. It's nice when you get paid for it, but to constantly have to put yourself, not for me. Not for me. I would rather be in boots, burning somewhere, in Ngole or whatever. Yeah. Anyway, I'm happy. I'm so grateful, and this made me realize that, you know what, when something is from God, it doesn't make sense. God's blessings don't make sense, hey? Not always. Sometimes they do make sense. Sometimes it's like, yes, I prayed for this. I asked God for this car, and he gave me this very car. But in this instance, I know I said I'm putting everything in God's hands, but he went beyond my expectations. Not even for a second did I expect to get a job in my field of study. Not now, not ever. Like, I had given up on that. Not because I wanted to, but because it wasn't happening for me, you know. So I'm just like, God does funny things, man. Funny things in a good way. God does funny things. And till today I tried to make sense of it. I'm like, but how? Like, out of all people, the company could have gotten someone who's experienced, you know, someone who knows their stuff, who knows their story 100% already. I know like half of my story. I know like a quarter of my story. But you know what? I walked in there with the confidence, and I'm ready to learn. I'm excited to learn. It's been exciting so far. Yeah, I love it here. I love it here. There's a song that they sang at church today that song made me break down in tears. What song was it? What song was it? It's in my notes. I'm going to check my notes. Found it. This song says, Ndawo yami yokuphephela, ngeke ngisuke kuwe. My place of safety. I won't move from you. I won't leave you. And I was just like, at first I was singing along, no Mfundisi, Pastor Manana. She's an amazing, uyacula loya mama. I was singing along, you know, she was doing her soprano. I came in with my alto, singing the song. I love it. I forgot how it goes now. I just know at some point it's like, I can't remember how the Ndawo popular part goes. Anyway, I was singing along, and then I just thought about it, like, and then when I think about the lyrics, my place of safety, I won't move from it. Everything just came. There was a whole thing. Hello, kitty patootie. Of emotion, and I cried, y'all. I cried. Kind of ruined my makeup over there. I cried, and I was like, God is something else. Like, I just thought about my life in the last 2 months. So many blessings. There'll be different videos about different blessings. So many blessings, and I'm just like, yeah, you are something else. So anyway, guys, there's someone I was talking to in the DMs. She was just telling me how stuck she feels, and at that moment I was also super stuck, and I was like, you know what, it happens to all of us. A waiting period is not fun. Because you don't even know what's coming. You don't know does God even hear me, or the four walls in my bedroom. Yeah, waiting period comes with a lot of doubt, and it's the time where you have to have all the faith in the world. But let me tell you something, the reality is it's difficult to be positive and to have faith when everything seems to be a shitstorm. It is difficult. So I just told her, you know what, God's timing is perfect. This was before God's timing came to me. I was like, God's timing is perfect. It will happen when it's supposed to happen, and whatnot. And I know nobody wants to hear that. Guys. That's not a solution. But that's just how it is. Well, if you believe in God, that's just how it is. Everything happens according to God's timing. Everything happens according to God's will. I got fired, for crying out loud. I got fired at such an inconvenient time. Like, it was so inconvenient. You know? It was so inconvenient, but at the same time I was relieved. So I just have mixed feelings about me being fired. But anyway, look at me now. What? So I'm back home, honey. I'm back in my dad's house. I'm sure we are back in my parents' house. I want to say I'm moving out soon. Do I want to move out soon? I don't know, like, there's so much I need to save money for, but at the same time I need my independence. For crying out loud, I am 25 years old. You know, I do want to move out of home, but I want to be close to home, you know. But also finding a place in Middelburg is one of the most difficult things ever. My tiles are browny. I don't want brown tiles. Or the kitchen cupboards are mahogany. If they're not mahogany, they're that, you know, that brown that's almost yellow. I'm so sorry if your house has these. It's just my preference. I don't like that. I don't like those colors in a house. And I don't like these tiles that are like small squares, man. And they look bumpy or bulgy. I don't know. So I'm super picky. Middelburg's a small town. There's only so much to choose from. I got a place that I really liked, but I had to let it go because I don't have the deposit right now. Like, where am I going to get that money? I don't have the deposit right now, so I had to let it go. So I just think I'm gonna pace myself. I'll save, and then when I'm ready, when I know that I won't be strained, I will move out. Meanwhile, I'll obviously help my parents here and there, but yeah, God's timing, I guess. But otherwise, guys, thank you so much. I've received so many messages of concern in the DMs. People miss me. I miss you guys too. I miss interacting. I miss going live. I miss the comments over here on the Red app. And I'm back. I am back. Now I just need to gather the strength to take pictures. I need to gather the strength to take pictures and come back on Instagram. Yeah. That's about it, right? That's today's catch up. That's life lately. Your girl is happy. Your girl is gaining and losing weight at the same time. I don't know what to call it. Your girl has the job of her dreams and a company with beautiful people, amazing people. I love my colleagues. I love my boss. Amazing people. Yeah. Middelburg. I love Middelburg with all my heart. I know people hate Middelburg. People who grew up here want to leave, but I love Middelburg. Oh, I came home with my dogs. Hey, Itchy. I'm with everything I love. Like, I'm the happiest I've been in a few months. There was a time I was really happy, I won't lie, but yeah. And you know what? I hope this time it lasts. I believe this time it will last. Yeah, like, God has given me much more than I expected, much more than I asked for. Right now, much more than I asked for, and I'm just grateful. I am grateful, and I'm back, honey. I'm back and I'm better. Yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Please don't forget to like and leave a comment. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I promise I am back. I won't go AWOL, well, at least not anytime soon. Yeah, hope you liked it. Next week.